When I heard Michael K. Williams had died, I initially thought it might have been because of drugs. I'd heard him discuss his addiction in an episode of Mark Maron's WTF podcast. I'd also thought about drugs because Maron openly and regularly discusses his own sobriety and how challenging it can be to manage. How cruelly some of it comes down to something as ephemeral as luck. Williams had said he was sober, but also that relapses were a part of his journey and that he didn't do well with an idle mind. I don't know if an idle mind contributed to his death, but Williams also told a story that has stuck with me. In the early 2000s, his career had stalled. He'd done some good television work, but everything had dried up, so he spent a good amount of time with his people on Brooklyn rooftops doing coke, which only intensified after 9/11. Just fellow addicts, New York skyline, cocaine, chess, music on blast, and a television on mute. During one of these sessions, Williams looks away from the cocaine and at the television, and he sees himself on The Sopranos. And he remembers himself. Oh yeah, I'm an actor. It's a small moment, quiet the way addictions can be, and it coaxes him into going to his mom and asking for a loan so he can give acting another try. Months later, he's offered the role of Omar for The Wire, and turns a role that was meant for a few episodes into a lengthy, beautiful career. He saw his performance on The Sopranos and remembered himself. The pandemic has put me in an odd space. I don't even know if I believe in the self anymore. I've been entertaining this notion that each person is a ladle full of soul scooped out of celestial pond water and poured into a body. And then when the body ends, we return to the pond. It's just a story I tell myself casually, almost indifferently, maybe compulsively, to drain the tension out of my dance with my own mortality. Williams also said in the podcast that he thinks everyone is addicted to something. I think that stayed with me too, because though I know it's more complex than the way my imagination frames it, I tend to look at addiction as a want for love, down to the cellular level, the cells of the self, whatever the self is, a body, a soul, screaming out for relief like a host of teething babies. And I've definitely felt addicted to stories for the last year and a half, by which I mean I've clung to them even when I don't know if they're doing me much good. Even when they exhaust me and I want to pour Afghan sand on my head and drink Louisiana rainwater until submerged towns are dry again. Even when I need something else but can't name what that thing is that will calm the soul. The stories play over and over in my head like a morsel of food I can't chew down to a place of being swallowed. I've clung to stories so hard it almost feels like they're clinging to me. And the story of Michael K. Williams will be no exception.